All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. This is just like a quick little quick hit. This is dealing with the doomsday clock. Today is January 23rd, 2020. And I was watching this video by Dabu7, which has a video called Doomsday Clock Hits 100 Seconds to Midnight as Viral Pandemic Sweeps Planet. And pretty much in this video, he was saying that this doomsday clock has been the lowest that it's been since 1954, I believe it was. And 100 seconds is about a minute and 40 seconds, I believe. Yeah, about a minute and 40 seconds. So, this is just Esau's, doomsday clock of when Armageddon or the end of the world will be coming. And we're at that time, where the Lord is about to, judge the world and take, Esau down from his rulership position, because it's time for them to go down. Now, there was a scripture, I believe it's Isaiah. Is it Isaiah 26? Just bear with me 1 second. Isaiah 20, that's 28. Let me just go back to Isaiah 26 and 18. We have been with child, we have been in pain. This is dealing with us, the Israelites. We have, as it were, brought forth wind, because we haven't been delivered yet. Jeremiah said, the summer is past, the harvest is ended, or the harvest is ended, the summer is past, and we are not saved. It says, we have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, because all nations are in their heaven, they're in their kingdom. And we, as a nation, are still in that jammed up position, so to speak, where we haven't received our inheritance. We haven't received our kingdom yet. It says, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Why? Because there was a period of time that the Lord was going to set up to, bring these devils down. And we're starting to see all of the signs that Yahweh Shai spoke of 2,000 years ago to bring in, or to usher in, the end of Esau's world, or the end of Esau's age, because Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And when you go back into the Latin of that word, world, in the book of 2nd Ezra 6, and also the Greek, the word there would be eon or seculai, which the Hebrew word would be iwalam, which all three of those words pretty much are synonymous one with another, which is an uninterrupted rule. The age of someone or some empire that would be ruling. It says, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. But now we're witnessing their fall, because even Yahweh Shai said 2,000 years ago, I seen Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Now the word Satan represents the word or means adversary. So the adversaries of the Lord, which is Esau, the so-called white man, Yahweh Shai already saw them fall. So what we're witnessing right now is the decay and the downward spiral of the last empire of the world, which is the empire of Esau, Edom. And that's why they keep putting the time clock, the doomsday clock, up and down, up and down. And the Lord is going to be the one to set it at 0 or at midnight. And once the doomsday clock hits midnight, that's the end of Esau's world. So I just got a couple of precepts, and I put this video in the description box. You brothers could read it. I mean, not read it. Actually watch it. This is Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the Lord already set up a time period where these devils were going to rule and fall. And what we're witnessing is the downfall and eventually the fall of Esau, and his empire and his allies and the other nations. Because all these nations will fall when Yahweh Shai comes back. And that's why the scriptures call Yahushua King of Kings and Lord of Lords, because he's coming to take all the crowns from all these different nations that are ruling, beginning with Esau. Psalm 75:5, lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So the Most High is the one that's taking Esau down, because it's time for them to come down. They don't want to go down, but the Lord is destructuring his empire, causing, corrosion and different things that happen to systematically break Esau's system and his empire down. So this empire is steady falling, as we are witnessing, with all these. And it's heavy that the Spirit had Elder Apostle Tahar label or name 2020 the year of prophecy, because we haven't even gotten out of the month of January, and all type of stuff is happening right now throughout the planet Earth. And this recent pandemic has set the doomsday clock at 100 seconds to midnight, and once it hits midnight, that's it, which the Most High is going to make it hit midnight when he sends Yahushua back. Daniel 4:17, this matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. So now it's time for these devils to go down, because the bases of men have ruled the planet. They've ruled, and now it's time for them to go down. So what we're witnessing is, as it speaks about in the book of Isaiah 14, how have thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? You light bearers that had the light of the world, that had the secrets and the history and the records of everything, that have set yourself up, that have studied everything from the beginning of time till now, that have deceived the world. How are you falling from this great state that you were in? Now you're going down to what? To becoming servants, slaves, where you really belong. Because when you go back to the beginning, or the origins of the so-called white race, the Edomite race, the elder was supposed to serve the younger anyway. One last precept is 2 Ezra 9:13, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. So the righteous are who? The Israelites. And in this day and age, what we're seeing, as well as Esau falling, is the sealing of the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and the demise and fall of Esau, and we're witnessing that at a exponential rate now, as you see all these prophecies popping off. Like I've mentioned in my other lessons, there's always been wars, there's always been pestilences, there's always been earthquakes, there's always been uproars of the people, and there's always been all these things that Yahushua spoke about in the book of Matthew 24, Mark 13, and Luke 21, but never has it all been together at one time, in the fashion that is going on right now. And why is that? Because it's the time that Esau falls. It's a time of where his empire has an end, and the oppressor has ceased and is ceasing. The Lord already broke the staff of the wicked. It's just a matter of time before everything falls apart, and we're witnessing, as Yahushua said, I seen Satan as lightning fall from heaven, because it's going to be quick. The scriptures speak about Babylon the Great falling in an hour. So Yahushua saw Esau's empire that took him so many hundreds of years to build fall in an instant, in 1 hour. Can you imagine that? You building something for over 400, 500, 600 years, and then all of a sudden in 1 hour all your dreams, aspirations, and your so-called hard work is brought to nothing in 1 hour. Woo! It says, then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. And this pandemic, if it really takes hold of the world, could be one of the worst ever, because the Spanish influenza virus, going back to 1918 to 1920. You know, I forget the count, but it was over. I believe it was over 100 million deaths on the planet. You know, and I'm pretty sure back then they thought it was the end of the world because you had World War One, which was the first time a major war happened, and in the midst of that war, towards the end of the war, you had that great pandemic. But now we're witnessing that. You know, the pandemic. You know, if it breaks out, you know, we'll be witnessing that. You know, the which could open up the door for the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, which eventually opens up the door for World War III and everything else in between. You know, it says like as a wave is greater than a drop, and he answered me saying, like as the field is so also the seed. Let me read that again. And he answered me saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed. As the flowers be, such are the colors also, which is much. Such as a workman is, such also is the work. And as a husband is himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was a time of the world. So this is the time of the world, the time of these different empires to rule. You know, and all nations ruled that were supposed to rule. The Lord gave them their time to rule. They ruled consecutively. Now it's time for Esau, the last kingdom, to fall, and our kingdom, which is Yahweh Shai's kingdom, and by default our kingdom, because we are joint heirs, to be established upon the earth. So we're witnessing the fall of Esau, and the doomsday clock just hit 100 seconds to midnight. And like Dabu, I'm about to say Abu Dabu mentioned in the video, he said, I believe the last time it was that low was back in 1954, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so you brothers could watch the video and fact check that. You know, so with that, you know, I pray that you brothers have been edified. I just wanted to kind of mention that. I watched this video a little while ago, and I just wanted to do like a quick little something on it, you know, to keep, you know, your eyes on, you know, on it, you know, which, like I said, this is Esau moving it back and forth, but the Most High is going to bring it to midnight. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. To the next time I say Shalom. Because we are joint heirs to be established upon the earth. So we're witnessing the fall of Esau, and the doomsday clock just hit 100 seconds to midnight. And like Dabu, I'm about to say Abu Dabu mentioned in the video, he said, I believe the last time it was